Today is the big day. We are going to finally start standing frames and begin the erection process on the building. I gotta be honest, guys, I don't really know what to expect. This is my first erection, at least, you know, like this. I don't know how big of an erection it's gonna be or how long this erection is gonna take. But the good thing is I have friends coming out to help me handle this erection. I don't think it's one I'd want to handle by myself. So why don't you guys take a second and get your mind out of the gutter. Let's go erect a building. All right, so as I am awaiting the rest of the guys and equipment to show up, what I'm doing right now is just kind of getting everything laid out and ready. I brought out the box with all of the hardware in it. So it's got all the nuts and bolts, the cables for the X bracing, and all the little bracketry that gets used throughout the building. And then what I've been doing is I've been taking all the vertical columns and laying them next to the anchor bolts that they're gonna set on. The plan, at least for right now, is we are gonna stand the vertical columns and then swing the rafters into place. Now, the other option was build each frame on its side on the slab and then lift it into place. But being that this is such a wide span building, you know, it's over 50 feet and it's single slope, I was just worried when we go to lift it that something might twist and that we might struggle with things more. Although that would have alleviated the fact that now we have to get up on lifts to bolt things together. Kind of went back and forth on that. So anyway, for right now, until, you know, when Aaron gets here, the crane operator, if he has a better idea. Anyway, that is what I'm working on right now.
Here come the glow, here come the power back. Here come the seasons back. Here come the feelings back. And I'm back again. And I'm back again. Here come the rays, cut through the haze, happy to shine again.
And I can't believe how fast these are going up. So right now is where I'm just like, fingers crossed, all the hold downs are in the right spot. I did measure all of them and had the guys move them because they were in the wrong spot. So at this point, I guess if they're in the wrong spot, it's on me.
On the rise, making new waves again, and I realize I am awake again. Here come the highs again, and here come feeling alive again.
All right, day one of the great erection process is in the books. I'm happy with how far we got. We actually got farther than I expected. Still have a lot to do to finish off even just the center section. The big thing is we got to get this all plumb and square. So got to build out some cross bracing, and then we'll roll out all the purlins and that last girt on the back. Once that's all like solid and square, then we can start erecting all the frames around the rest of it, because there's still 2 more frames or end walls that need to be built out. But I don't know, for the first day, I think we did good. I'm excited to see this thing come together.
What's happening?
Where we stand right now is that we have the entire internal portion, or the enclosed portion, of the hangar erected, and everything is plumb square and tightened up on this side of the building. Now we still have one more frame to build on this east end wall. Basically what I did with the building is I had it extended out an extra 12 feet. So this will just be a shade area. Basically there'll be a roof but no walls on the outside of it. I just wanted somewhere to be able to park things that don't need to be in the hangar in the way, you know, like the tractor could park over here. It has been a bit of a roller coaster though, because like the first couple frames went up so fast, and then once we got to where we had to build all the cross bracing, I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but there's cross bracing in every single one of these bays, including doubled up cross bracing. And here, every single one of those cables had to get hand built, at least the end of it, the brace grip at the end. So basically it's like you go through phases of where it goes really fast and then slows down really slow. So the plan today is hopefully get that last frame stood, and then we will be attaching the hangar door, which is a weld in place. And we have 2 other pieces on the building that actually have to get field welded. And yeah, it's been nice that the weather has been cooperating. We did get rained out a bit the first day, but since then I think we have now hit the shift from spring to summer. And with that, I think this is an appropriate time to mention that as we shift from this prolonged spring into summer, we got to remember we had like a historic winter. The snowpack and rainfall that we've had from winter to spring has been like unprecedented, and we have so much vegetation growing out here in the desert as well as in the mountains. And what that means is we have a lot of fuel for fires. And like I said, if we're gonna be out here welding, grinding, doing all that, you gotta be prepared, be ready. That's where my friends over at Q-Tac came in. And I know you guys have seen my Q-Tac, the firefighting skid in the past, but the guys over at Q-Tac, who happen to be my friends, they're also pilots and building the Kit Fox, asked if I would tell you guys about them again. And I happily obliged, because I'm a huge fan in what they build. And for those of you that don't know who Q-Tac is, they build professional grade firefighting equipment for landowners as well as professionals. And they have units that are from 20 gallons up to 500 gallons. And basically what they are, like the one I have behind me is a standalone fire skid. Mine's built onto a trailer so I can tow it behind a quad or UTV. Now the one I have is 125 gallons, and I know you might say, what are you gonna do with 125 gallons? Well, the bigger question is, what are you gonna do without? Because as you guys probably saw years ago when we first moved out here, we had lightning strike down just past the windsock on our property and start a fire. And luckily I had a little trailer that I built out for watering the electric dirt bike track. And I was able to get out there pretty quick with that and get it put out, but it was a clunky setup. Just the way I had it all ran really was not very efficient. Now, luckily again, I was able to get it out, but Q-Tac makes units that work for anyone, anywhere. And again, it's like insurance. It's a good way to know that you have an option should there be a fire that starts on or near your property. Going back to the size, you know, some of the comments could be that, oh, you only have 125 gallons. What are you gonna do with that? Well, again, get to it fast, get it put out. But also, all of the Q-Tac skids can draft, meaning that if there was a big fire moving in, one that I'm not gonna put out with 125 gallons, I can go park the skid next to my pond, put a draft line in it, and then I can roll out like 500 feet of hose in all different directions. And that way when the wildland or the regular firefighting crews show up, I can have this thing sitting there ready to be used by them at their disposal, which with the amount of water that pump puts out, pretty much guarantees that they're gonna be able to, you know, keep my house safe. Again, my house is built with non-flammable materials. Everything's got that wildland urban interface design into it, but still, it's good to have the right tools on hand. And for anyone that is interested in picking up a skid like this, go to qtacfire.com/Trent Palmer. That'll get you free shipping on any UTV fire skid in the lower 48. Look at that. Just in time. We're almost ready for it, but the hangar door is here from Diamond Doors. Came all the way down from Canada. And I'm super excited about this because I am so tired of the hangar doors I've been using that have like dual manual latches and you gotta hold the switch all the way to the top. The Diamond Door is just like the way to go for bifolds in my opinion. So I'm excited to get this thing just excited to have it here. Excited to get it hung up.
Line the room. You find a drink and drain the glass as fast as you can think to. The cheap perfume. In a room of people watching it intoxicate you. They start to play. Then they start to play. It shakes the floor. It stings your ears, but this is what we trade our hearing for. The crowd stands still. No one's moving, they just rather stand and wait until someone starts to move.
All of them?
All of them.
You pretty confident it's not gonna fall on me?
100%.
And there it is. Finally, we are completely done with the erection of this building. And it's interesting. It's been kind of a roller coaster. The first few frames went up really quickly, really fast. And then you get through to different parts like the base angle or rake angle and even the framed openings for the windows and doors. That is all kind of field cut and field fit. That just goes a lot slower, and even building all the cable X bracing. There's just parts that go super fast, parts that go super slow. But we're finally at the portion that we are done with all of the frame erection and ready to start siding this thing. The only downside is that I'm waiting on insulation, which will be coming next week. I can't put the siding up without the insulation because it sandwiches the insulation in between the wall girts and the siding. And even the roof system, I'm doing the energy saver one, so it's better R value, but you still sandwich the top layer under the roof sheeting. But yeah, I think having built this now, or at least framed the steel out, I will say that I think I prefer steel buildings to like traditional wood framing that we do here in the United States. Just in that, you know, wood framing, like when we did my house, just cutting a 2x4 with a skill saw and then driving it in with a nail, it just seems like a little too primitive, a little too like broad. You know, when you get to a beam or something on a steel building and the holes just like match up perfectly and then you can torque down a bolt there, it just feels better. It feels like things are fitting more right. Obviously with the cross bracing and all that, it's really easy to plumb and square these kind of buildings. So with that, I think I'm gonna wrap this video out here. I've got some plans next week before the insulation comes. Hopefully I can get out and do some flying in the mornings because it has just turned into the dog days of summer with this hot weather. But with that, I am going to close this one out here. You guys know the drill. Like this video if you do. Subscribe if you haven't. Come be my wingman. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.